shadows. The broad, thick tires would stand up to the rough surface of carpet and made a wide splash through puddles. The doors did not open, but the windows were big enough for a nimble mouse to climb through. And after all, racing car drivers did not open their doors. Ralph was squeakless at the sight of such a beautiful sports car. Why, with a car like that, he would no longer have to hang onto his tail to keep it from tangling in the spokes. He could just hop in and take off. Come on, let's see you drive it, Ryan set Ralph down beside the little Laser XL7. Could he drive it? He'd show them. Ralph slipped through the window into a bucket seat, made sure his tail was safely inside, grasped the wheel, took a deep breath, and the car did not move. Some noisy skiers came in from outdoors but paid no attention to the kneeling boys as they crossed the lobby. The boys crouched behind the couch until they had gone. Silly, said Ryan. That's your old motorcycle noise. You gotta make a sports car noise to make a sports car move. Stupid of me, admitted Ralph, who had been too excited to think straight. He took another deep breath, made his voice as low as a squeaky voice could go, and went, vroom, vroom. The Laser began to roll across the floor. Ralph was driving. He was actually driving this beautiful sports car. He drove it straight into the leg of a couch where it stopped. Ralph roomed again. Vroom! The car did not budge. Matt, who joined the boys to watch, asked, How's a little fellow going to back up? Silence. No one had thought of this problem. Ryan's mother stepped out of the elevator. Hello, Ryan, she said with a smile. Is this your new friend? Yes, this is Brad, answered Ryan with his hand on the Laser XL7 so his mother would not see Ralph. Hi, Brad was unexpectedly shy. I'm glad you come home with Ryan, said Mrs. Bramble. What are you boys doing? Playing with a little car, said Ryan. Play quietly, said Mrs. Bramble, and if the manager appears, you'd better go out to our cottage. Or perhaps you could show Brad around. He might like to see the kitchen. With that advice, she went off to make sure the maids had cleaned the ground floor bedrooms properly. Brad sat back on his heels. Your mom sure is nice, he said. Yes, agreed Ryan, his thoughts on Ralph's problems. Vroom, vroom, vroom! Ralph made a noise like a racing motor. The car did not move. What we need is your dad's tow truck, remarked Ryan. Ralph found the boys' laughter most annoying. I know, said Brad. If going vroom makes the car go forward, maybe saying vroom backwards would make it come up morv. Morv, Ryan tried out the sound. It's hard to say, but if it works, that's okay. Backing a car is slower than moving forward. Try it, Ralph. Morv. The car inched away from the leg of the couch. Morv. The car was free. Vroom. Ralph drove off in a wide circle and returned to his friends. Do I get to keep it, he asked. It's all yours, said Brad, to make up for your broken motorcycle. Don't you need it? Asked Ralph, unable to believe that anyone would give away such a car. Not anymore, said Brad. Not since I have a BMX. Ralph was speechless with joy. He ran his paw lovingly over the dashboard of his very own car. Wait till your relatives see you riding around in a Laser XL7, remarked Matt. Ralph leaned out the driver's window. What do you mean? He asked. I thought they all moved back upstairs. Most of them did, said Matt, but a few of your outdoor relatives still hang around, hoping you'll bring the motorcycle back. Just my luck, thought Ralph. That rowdy bunch. There was a sound of someone stamping snow off boots at the entrance of the inn. Matt hastily returned to his chair by the front door, while Ralph quickly and skillfully drove his car under the clock. The boots turned out to belong not to a guest, but to a man delivering the cucaracha voice. He shoved the papers into a rack and hurried out. Matt removed a copy of the newspaper, put on his spectacles, and read the headlines. Then something at the bottom of the front page caught his eye. Say, do you boys know a Miss Heidi Kunkenbacker down at Sneed, he asked. Yeah, she's our teacher. The two boys rushed over to Matt to see what the paper said about Miss K. Ralph climbed out of the car. He found that bits of his old nest still remained under the clock. With a shred of Kleenex, he began with loving care to polish away the boy's fingerprints on his car. As he polished, he listened while Matt read aloud from the voice. Retraction. It says here above the picture, said Matt. What's retraction? Asked Brad. It means they take something back they said, explained Matt. Well, they should, said Brad. Hey, look, said Ryan. There's the picture of our class. What else does it say? Matt read, the editors of the Cucaracha Voice regret a misleading story published in Saturday's edition concerning Miss Heidi Kuckenberger's class at Irwin J. Sneed Elementary School. Ralph stopped polishing. Maybe the paper would say something about him. Matt continued. After thorough investigation, Superintendent Clyde R. Crossman has cleared Sneed of charges of mouse infestation. Miss Kuckenberger's pupils have informed the editor that the mouse exhibited in her classroom was not captured as reported, but was instead a pet of Ryan Bramble, a member of the class. Ralph was insulted. He was no one's pet. Not Ryan's, not anyone's. Hey, Ryan, you got your name in the paper. Brad was excited for his friend. Wait, there's more, said Matt. Miss Kuchenbacher reports that she and her class learned much from having a mouse in the classroom. How about that, thought Ralph. I guess I taught them a thing or two. Matt read on. The editors regret any embarrassment caused Room 5 by the misleading article about their activities. Well, that's better, said Brad. Sounds as if maybe that editor is having a little fun, remarked Matt. No, he isn't. Ryan was serious. We really did write to the paper, said Brad, and the superintendent really did investigate mice at our school. Sort of. I guess we took care of that, editor, said Ryan. Come on, Brad, let's go see if the cook will give us something to eat. Ralph watched the boys leave before he carefully polished every millimeter of his beautiful new car. Then he pushed his nest together for a nap while waiting for night to come. His day had been exciting, exhausting, and satisfying. Because of him, two boys had become friends. Ralph felt that he had done a good deed in a troubled world. Ralph awoke much later when the clock began to grind and groan and slowly, as if in pain, strike 11, the safe hour for mice to appear. Ralph was enjoying a good stretch when he saw 5 of his relatives peering in at him. He's back, said one. And he's got a car, said another. A sports car, said a third. Instantly, there was clamor and confusion. Give me a ride. Me first. Stop shoving. I should be first. I'm the oldest. Get off my foot. Instead of getting excited and angry, Ralph stood calmly beside his car, looked at his relatives without speaking, and gradually the mice grew quiet. That's better, said Ralph. I can't hear anyone if you all speak at once. The mice were silent, listening, the way Room 5 had grown quiet and listened to Miss K. Look, fellows, said Ralph. If you get in line and you take turns, that way you can each have a ride. Good idea, murmured the mice, who had never before thought of such a thing. Ralph was pleased with himself for putting his education to use. He climbed into his car and drove it out from under the clock. My oldest cousin first, he directed. His relative climbed into the passenger seat and pulled his tail in after him. That's the way, said Ralph with approval. Now take a deep breath, and we'll both go vroom. Together the cousins vroomed around the lobby, down the long hall and back, faster than Ralph could have driven alone. Next, Ralph said when he had returned his passenger. And by the way, he said to his relatives, as his next cousin in line climbed into the car, in school, human beings learn things by grades. So older human children learn harder things than younger human children. The mice caught on at once. Riding in sports cars is for older mice, one cousin said. It's too dangerous for little mice. We won't even tell our little relatives about it, said another. We can't have them messing up the lobby, said a third. We'll keep it a secret, said a fourth. Good thing.